On Osrc News at 7. Towards improvement of living standard in coastal area, Osrc estimates bill scale second reading at Ondo Assembly. Divergent views trip President Buhari's clemency for 2 ex-governors. Police arrest suspended Kano anti-corruption chief on allegation of medical certificates forgery. And from the foreign scene, Russia cuts gas supply deliveries to Poland. Much for joining us on the news at 7. I am Oyewumi Ayinigbera. Ondo State Commissioner for Environment, Sunday Akinwalere, says effective management of the environment is a responsibility of all tiers of government, hence the need for strong synergy between his ministry and the chairman of the 18 local government areas. Mr. Akinwalere, while addressing the council chairman in Akure, said bold steps must be taken towards curbing environmental challenges facing the state. According to him, efforts are on to ensure environmental sustainability through an initiative to encourage the cleanest and best environmental-friendly local government areas. He said the Ministry of Environment also targets the deployment of environmental health officers and health assistants to world levels for effective monitoring. Mr. Akinwalere explained that plans for protection of the environment by the ministry to include the One House, One Tree initiative, proper solid waste management, and establishment of cemeteries by local government areas. For the year 2022 estimates of Ondo State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, the SOPADEC, has scaled through the second reading at Ondo State House of Assembly. During plenary presided over by the Speaker, Mr. Bamidele Lealogu, the House also directed the Committee on Ethics and Public Petitions to commence work on land dispute between Lieto Community and Western University, Ondo. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi now reports.
Year 2022 estimates of Ondo State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, second reading.
The day's legislative business started with committing the OSOPADEC bill to House Committee on Finance and Appropriation and Committee on OSOPADEC for proper scrutiny after scanning through the second reading during plenary. The over 11 billion naira budget estimate was thoroughly debated by the legislators. Thereafter, the lawmakers representing Okitipupa Constituency 2 Ololadegbegudu moved for its adoption and seconded by the lawmaker representing Akure South Constituency 2, Mr. Sunday Olajide.
That is something in the past, and we can be fair enough to give back to where this golden egg is being laid. In other places in Nigeria, for instance, Ayesa, Delta, we have seen places where they cannot have a good drinking water. Good places, Ilaje, we talk about Ayetoro and all that. We have seen caution coming to these communities. But of course, good results are being taken away from these places. And Nigeria and Ondo State are getting money from these places. So it is on us to make sure these people live a good life. It's on us to be sure that these areas are well and adequately taken care of. The essence of this particular bill forwarded to the House is to look at that figure that has been appropriated to that commission, the OSOPADEC, and see how this particular fund is being distributed to various cells in the commission so that the fund can be judiciously used for the good of the people in the mandate area.
The Chairman House Committee on the OSOPADEC, Prince Abayomi Akinroton, affirmed that the year 2022 estimates, when passed into law, will go a long way to improve the living standard of the people of the coastal area.
The essence of this bill is to cushion the effects, perhaps the little the state government can do through the state budget. This bill will assist to be able to do more for the good of the mandate area.
The subject upon the state oil processing area, the Development Commission Superintendent for the year ending 31st day of December 2022, we committed the House Committee on the Superintendent and House Committee on Finance and Appropriation. My support say aye. Aye. Against it.
Out of the total estimate of 11,416,104,852 naira 88 kobo, 3,115,497,152 naira 30 kobo was budgeted for recurrent expenditure, while the remaining 8,300,600,700 naira 58 kobo is for capital expenditure. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
The social and economic implications of land border closure is taking an integral point in the discussion of many Nigerians following the recent directive of the federal government for the reopening of 4 more border posts hitherto closed. The federal government had in 2019 ordered a total closure of the country's land borders as part of efforts to boost local production and curb smuggling of arms. Saeed Aribisala reports that while some Nigerians commended the move, others want government to place premium on securing the border posts with modern technology.
The Idiroko border post, a link between Ogun State, Nigeria and Benin Republic, is finally opened after over 2 years of closure. Also opened were 3 land border posts in Jibia, Katsina State, Ikom in Cross River State, and Kamba border post in Kebbi State, hitherto closed in 2019. The smuggling of illegal arms. While the Federal Executive Council had also in December 2020 reopened 4 major borders, the latest reopening of additional 4 has drawn reaction from Nigerians.
So if that's just bringing in rice into Lagos State now, inflationary trend has become too high. Security. Instead, it was becoming alarming. We are all on social media. We saw what
government need to do a lot of engineering in that area. Engineering in the sense that they need to use scientific method. In Nigeria, we have the greatest border in the whole of Africa, from north to south, east to west. Everywhere is porous. Anybody can just come in and out easily. I think the government need to be on top of their game.
In the food industry, we've had more people going into agriculture, especially in rice production, local rice processing, and marketing as such. So it encapsulates the entire food value chain, and other industries are springing up in other related commodities, which has forced us, made us to look inwards to see how we can generate and grow our own food rather than relying on imports.
At least to certain high percentage, the government had been able to achieve a great effort in making sure that food is available in the country.
There are over 15 land borders in Nigeria, and with the reopening of more borders, Nigerians are hopeful that the socio-economic implication will be in the country's favor in the face of geopolitical realities such as the Russia-Ukraine war. Saeed Aribisala, Osrc News.
You're still watching Osrc News at 7. After the commercial break, we bring you more stories. Please stay with us.
After a fruitful Ramadan day, replenish your body with the right nutrients. Make this your best Ramadan yet. Ramadan Kareem from Hollandia Dairy and Chivita Fruit Juice.
You are welcome back. Now, you can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook, OSRC TV Undo, and on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel, OSRC TV Undo. Ondo State Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Dele Ologun, has assured of his ministry's readiness to synergize with individuals, corporate organizations, and communities to engender development. Mr. Ologun gave the assurance while paying host to a royal entourage of the Ogbolu of Ita-Ogbolu, Oba Idowu Faborode, who came to identify with him at his office in Akure. The Ita-Ogbolu-born politician promised not to disappoint the people of his community.
An entourage from Ita-Ogbolu in Akure North local government area of Ondo State, led by Oba Idowu Faborode, accompanied by chiefs and religious heads, was the guest of Ondo State Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Bamidele Ologun. The group was in the state capital to identify with the commissioner, who hails from Ita-Ogbolu. The Ogbolu of Ita-Ogbolu Oba Idowu Faborode, who commended Mr. Ologun for participating in politics with the interest of the town at heart, and joined him to nurture other bright minds in the area. The monarch also sought the intervention of the commissioner in finding solutions to abandoned projects in the area.
Remember the story of the public agency. You want to be killed by your brother, thrown into the dirty. Then we know your concern, that your guy will always say there's nothing there. But out of nothing, to go get something can come. Then my usual popular word, when you beat a man will feed his environment. So our own duty as a matter of fact is to keep on, not just praying, investing in prayer. So the Lord will continue to increase you.
Other dignitaries on the entourage thanked Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu for picking a pride of the town into his cabinet. In his response, Mr. Bamidele Ologun expressed appreciation to the community for its love, assuring the inhabitants of quality representation. He said his ministry is open for collaboration with individuals, communities and organizations for development.
You've been there for us for long. But then when I came in 2016, we fell into policy. It loved me so much that everybody knew. So these experienced men are my backbone here. And I want to assure you that I will try all my best, to ensure that the Ita-Ogbolu people at least gain something from this administration.
A special prayer was said for the commissioner, who is among the 14 appointed by Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu last year.
Some political analysts and public affairs commentators have criticized state pardons granted to convicted former Plateau State Governor Joshua Darie and his Taraba counterpart Jolly Nyame. Some of those who spoke with OSRC in Akure said the action should not have come from a government that claims to be fighting corruption, while some believe it is the president's prerogative to wield such power. Let's join Richard Ilesomi in this account of his engagement with them.
The granting of presidential pardons to former Plateau and Taraba state governors Joshua Darie and Jolly Nyame came as a blow to Nigerians, especially at a time when corruption is widely cited as one of the banes of the country's development. After the Council of State meeting of April 14, 2022, the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, announced that government approved pardon for 159 convicts, including the 2 former governors who were imprisoned for embezzling funds. While Darie was sentenced to 10 years in prison for embezzlement of 1.16 billion naira, Nyame was sentenced to 12 years for embezzling 1.6 billion naira during their tenures as governors of their state. Although the president acted in accordance with Section 175 of the Constitution, some Nigerians believe the action is an official endorsement of corruption in the country, as argued by 2 university dons, Dr. Adedayo Afe and Professor Busui Meguse.
Some of them appealed, they lost their appeal. And the same government now that took them to court is saying that let us release them. So you are telling Transparent International that Nigeria is headquarter of corruption. That's what you are saying. The government is legitimizing it.
What President Muhammadu Buhari has done is to simply ambush the war against corruption. And if we were to be in a saner climb, I expect the leadership of the EFCC, for instance, to generally tender their resignation, because I don't know who advised President Muhammadu Buhari. For me, this is a very dangerous dimension, and I don't know what explanation this government will give to justify that decision.
However, a public affairs analyst, Rotimi Ogunleye, did not share this view, arguing that the president must have genuine cause to clear the two convicted officers of guilt under the terms of the law.
It could be that the facts that were not available by the time he was jailed could now be made available. That may result into we must right this wrong. We must not let this wrong to go into the grave with this man. So it could be because of so many reasons. But like I said, on the face value, it is something that must be condemned.
You are forgetting the fact that corruption is the reason why our education system are not functioning. Corruption is the reason why there are no drugs in the hospital, why people are dying in droves. Corruption is the reason why there are no rules and people are dying. Corruption is part of the reason that led to insecurity. So it goes on and on and on like that.
A check on Section 175, subsection 1A of the 1999 Constitution shows that the President may grant any person concerned with or convicted of any offense created by an act of the National Assembly pardon, either free or subject to lawful conditions. But a human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, said this should be extended to other criminals serving prison sentences for petty crimes.
All criminals, all thieves, all petty thieves in our prisons should be released. All.
Although successive governments have granted it in the past, concerned Nigerians are advocating a constitutional revision to tinker with this Section 175 of